like you're gonna get paid a lot of money for this. I go, I don't want to fill out taxes for this shit. Like I don't work. Like I'm jobless. And he goes, you're the first person that's ever denied a check from Disney. And I was like, no, I'm not. And then I go, put me in, coach. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, put me in for like just so I could tell my friends and shit that I was in Star Wars. and so 8 hours of makeup, 8 hours of fucking makeup. Look at that shit, like fucking prosthetics, you know. So I have 1 second of screen time. That's like the camera panning, you know. And I had to do and they, you know, they put like paint speckles, like they made it look like I was the guy that actually did the graffiti, and you know.
Oh.
So this is the first time I'm on TV acting, like not as me. So I go home, I write a short story about the backstory of my character, and I go, oh, it's too boring for me to scream in English. I'm gonna learn Huttese, Jabba the Hutt's language. So I'm out there. I got 5 pages of dialogue. Like we're at a gambling ring. We're betting on Gamorrean guards fighting. So it's like a fight scene. And it's like, fuck him up, Chris, like all that. And I'm saying it, Nichu Jujuman Hachaka Tupu. And like everyone's like, dude, you're a fucking extra that's in here for 1 second. And no one asked you to learn Jabba the Hutt's language. And, you know, but I didn't know how to not go hard, you know, with it. And then
so did they tell you to not do it?
They didn't. They're like, I'm the extra hanging out there, and I go, hey, just like, I know, like, you know, this is just me being me. I'm like, I'm not trying to get more airtime or whatever, but I did write a backstory of how I ended up I am a gambling addict. This is how I ended up at a Gamorrean guard gambling thing, and I give it to Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, who are like the showrunners, and they're like, yeah, we'll get right on that, Dave. So
that's hilarious.
So I'm like, wow, I'm not. Like, I went kind of all in. Like, I wasn't, you know. So anyways, it was enough. I was like, that was great. Then I get a call one day from Ali Wong and Steve Yeun at the same time. They're on this new show on Netflix called Beef from A24. And they say the same thing. They go, Dave, have you ever thought about acting? And I'm like family, dude. I'm like chilling, trying to figure out how to get to Africa. Like, I'm not trying to do this. And I go, what's the part? And they're like, well, it would be filming in LA. It'd be for like 3 months, and you'd be playing an angry Korean guy. And I'm like, well, is that how you guys see me? You know, I'm pretty chill. You know, like in my normal life, like I'll tell you all this shit later, but like I kicked my parents out of the mansion I bought them because I asked them a million times not to do certain things, and they didn't listen to me. And I was like, I'm not like making crazy requests. It's just like I've learned what a boundary is, and please don't cross it. And they did. So this is my real life, right? My real life is like my brother, my family. Like when they fuck with me, I go, I'd ask you like not to do that, and if you do that, then I'm gonna have to remove. Like that's my normal life. But in this TV show, I'm like, fuck you! Like I'm like waving my gun out, like, and they're like, the character's name is Isaac Cho, and I'm like, that's not that far of a stretch, you know? And so I go, why don't you guys hire an actor, like a real actor? And they're like, there's all these people coming in casting, and they're like playing to be like Asian gangster tough guy, but you're just an asshole. And I'm like, should I take an acting class? Like, I don't want to, like, you know, Steve Yeun's like Oscar nominated, like Ali Wong, like, they're like, no, Dave, just come in and be yourself. I'm like, fuck you guys. So I come in, and I thought they were offering me the part. So I come in, and it's an audition, and I go, I'm too fucking old for this shit. Like, I'm too fragile to like
they didn't make a distinction when you were having a conversation. How casual was this conversation for you to come into a movie?
Oh man,
or a television show?
I mean, I went in and I just like, I want to do a good job, so I fully yeah.
But you didn't know it was an audition.
I didn't. I thought they were.
So
I thought they were asking me like, can you do this? And I was like, all right, fuck it, you know. So I went in and I'm like sitting next to the 10 other guys that are actual actors, and I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna get this part, you know. And then I do my part, and I'm like waiting by the phone, like, I hope validate me. I hope you like me. And then they call me, and they're like, you got the part. I'm like, oh shit. Like I kind of like didn't want to get it. In the same way, like, do you ever watch Survivor?
Yes.
Like, so a lot of people don't even know it's still on there, but it's been on there for like 30 years.
That's crazy how long it's been on.
And yeah, and then they asked me to be on a Survivor offshoot called Take It to the Edge or Beyond the Edge, and it's like all washed up I sound mean right now. It was like a 70-year-old ex-supermodel and like retired NFL players.
Right.
And I was the last one, so I'm like, what? Like Steve-O said no? And I called Steve-O. I was like, did they hit you up? He's like, yeah, I said no. And I was like, oh, I love Survivor. This ain't it, but I should do this. And and they were like, please just, and it was during the pandemic. It was like, you compete with other celebrities, and the thing with this is there's no losers. Everyone wins, and we donate all the money to charity. And I was like, it was the fattest I'd ever been. I ate so much Postmates during the thing, and my trainer or my manager was like, dude, you gotta, if you're gonna do this, I say don't do it, but if you're gonna do it, like you're gonna be with all these like washed up people, like you have to win. So then, so then that's when I hired the hitting guy. So I did actually get into pretty good shape, and then ultimately at the end I said no. And then at a party, I met Jeff Probst, and I said, hey, dude, I almost did this show. And he's like, oh, I'm not a part of that. But why don't you do the actual Survivor? And I was like, dude, I'm fucking super rich. No one's going to let me win, like get all the way to the end. He's like, we had Mike White. We had another guy that got like to the end. And I was like, all it would take is one of those people to recognize who I am. And then like they're going to like vote me out immediately. He's like, dude, we think you have like the right thing. So I got into like the best shape. And, you know, it's obviously nice having Jeff bat for me, but I mean that interview process was insane. They have like therapists talking. They want to make sure that you're not going to hurt someone or kill yourself on that island, right? Oh. So it was like long, and they got to the very end, and then at the very end they're like, "Can you do that thing that like you remember when Chris Rock paid like $1 million to like delete him throwing the shit? I'm probably fucking him up right now, but you remember he threw like one of the worst first what do you call it?
A pitch?
A pitch. He threw one of the worst ones, and then now you can't find it anywhere.
Really?
I'm sure Jamie could find it.
Is that real?
I had heard. I don't know if it's true, but
no one was worse than Anthony Fauci. Did you see his pitch?
I'm sure it was like it was like
it was hilarious. I mean, it didn't even come close to where it was supposed to go.
Yeah, and it's that's Sam. Okay. Oh yeah, did you see that,
Chris?
Did you see how bad that? I'm like laughing at him. I'm like, yeah. All right, so I guess you can still find it.
Yeah, it's just. Yeah.
So, fuck, why did I even bring that up? Oh yeah, so they asked me. They go, you're gonna be on Survivor, but can you do that thing that the celebrities do and pay like $1 million to like basically delete your entire imprint on the internet? And I was like, what? And they're like, there's so much of your life that is just like not appropriate for, like. And I was like, and you know, I sat there and I was like, it's enough. Like it's enough that I almost like. I know myself. I'm like, I would have won. I would have fucking won Survivor. I know myself. I know that sounds cocky, but like,
but Survivor's it's entirely dependent upon someone voting for you.
I know, but I as this is the setup, right? Like, as someone, people are like, oh, how'd you get into acting? I'm like, I've been a gaslighter, lying,
right,
con man, thief, like sneaky.